I didn't just lose stress fat, I completely transformed my energy, my metabolism, and my life. And today I'm sharing the exact approach that helped me break free from burnout and finally heal my body. In this video, I'm sharing the step-by-step process that I used to go from exhausted, burnout, and stuck to energized, healthy, and finally free from stress fat. Make sure to watch until the end because I'll be sharing how you can start using this exact method to reset your body and to get your energy back. Hi, I'm Lesha, a nutritionist specializing in burnout recovery for high-achieving women. After struggling for years with unexplained weight gain, chronic exhaustion, and feeling completely burnt out, I realized that everything I was doing to fix myself was actually making things worse. That's when I developed the C.A.R.E method, a framework that finally helped me recover from burnout, balance my hormones, and get rid of stress fat without extreme diets, punishing workouts, or restriction. And today I'm sharing exactly what worked for me, so you don't have to struggle like I did. Step number 1, I had to reset my cortisol before anything else. I used to think the key to getting rid of my stress fat was eating less and working harder. So I cut carbs, over-exercised, and ate as clean as possible, believing the weight would just come off if I just pushed myself a little harder. Instead of seeing results, I found myself in a vicious cycle. I was constantly exhausted, craving sugar, and holding on into belly fat that just would not budge. I could barely keep up with my work, my family, and my personal life, let alone my workouts. My energy was all over the place, and my stress levels were sky high. What I didn't realize was that all the restrictive dieting and over-exercising were actually making things worse. The more I pushed, the more my cortisol levels spiked. My body was constantly in survival mode, holding on to fat, especially in the midsection. I had no idea the stress hormones, particularly cortisol, were sabotaging my efforts to lose weight. Here's what I focused on instead. Cycling carbs. Stopped fearing carbs, and I started using them strategically to balance my cortisol. Instead of cutting carbs out completely, I aligned my intake with my body's natural cortisol rhythm. I ate low carbs in the morning when cortisol was naturally high and more carbs in the evening to help lower cortisol and improve sleep. I also adjusted when and how I ate, no longer following extreme restriction, but focusing on nourishing my body at the right times. Too little food combined with too much stress was the real problem. My body was conserving fat because it was stuck in fight or flight mode. Once I started eating in alignment with my natural cortisol cycle, my energy stabilized, no more afternoon crashes or feeling drained by midday. My sugar cravings diminished, and I wasn't obsessing over food all day. Most importantly, my body finally started responding again. I wasn't starving myself or over-exercising. I was simply giving my body what it needed, when it needed it. Resetting my cortisol was the first step in breaking free from stress-induced fat storage. Step number 2, I aligned with my circadian and infradian rhythms. I was constantly burning the candle at both ends, working late, checking emails before bed, and waking up to my phone alarm. I felt wired yet exhausted, and I never felt truly rested. My body's natural rhythms were completely out of sync, and I kept pushing through instead of respecting my need for rest and recovery. Here's what I focused on instead. Aligning with my natural rhythms. I stopped overexerting myself and focused on resetting my circadian rhythm. Instead of a jarring phone alarm, I switched to a sunrise alarm clock that gradually increased light to mimic a natural wake-up process. I made it a priority to get morning sunlight within 30 minutes of waking, which helped regulate my cortisol and set the tone for the rest of my day. At night, I created an evening wind-down routine. No screens, dim lighting, and a calming activity like journaling or reading to lower cortisol naturally. I also aligned my diet and exercise routines with my monthly infradian rhythm, also known as your cycle. By honoring the shifts in my hormones, I was finally able to make progress. Instead of working against my body, I supported it, training, eating, and recovering differently depending on where I was in my cycle. As soon as I started aligning with both my circadian and infradian rhythms, I stopped waking up exhausted, and my energy became more consistent. My metabolism became more responsive, and I started losing weight, specifically the stubborn stress fat that had been stuck for so long. Step number 3, I replenished the nutrients that burnout had depleted. For years, I tried to power through fatigue by cutting calories, drinking more coffee, and ignoring my body's signals. Instead of getting better, I stayed exhausted, had constant cravings, and kept holding on to belly fat. I finally learned that burnout and stress had depleted my body's essential nutrients. Chronic stress had taken a toll on my adrenal function. And without the right nutrients, I couldn't recover or support my metabolism. Here's what I focused on instead: restoration. I started nourishing my body with the nutrients that it needed. I boosted my intake of magnesium, B vitamins, and electrolytes to support my stress response, relaxation, and better sleep, all critical for resetting my metabolism. I also prioritized gut health by incorporating fermented foods and probiotics to improve digestion and nutrient absorption. Another key change was eating more whole, nutrient-dense foods, leafy greens, high-quality proteins, and healthy fats. Once I focused on nourishing my body instead of depriving it, my cravings subsided and my energy improved. My digestion got better and my metabolism became more efficient. The stubborn belly fat slowly melted away because my body finally had what it needed to function properly. Step number 4, I stopped ignoring stress and started regulating my nervous system. For the longest time, I brushed aside stress, convincing myself that feeling anxious and on edge was just part of working hard and being a high achiever. My body was in a fight or flight mode, but I kept relying on caffeine and pushing myself harder. I didn't realize that being stuck in a constant stress physically affects your ability to lose weight. My metabolism was stalled because my body was on high alert, holding on to fat as a survival mechanism. Here's what I focused on instead: ending the stress response quickly. I introduced practices that help my nervous system feel safe. One of the first was cold plunges. Daunting at first, but cold exposure activates the vagus nerve, shifting the body out of flight or fight mode. I also use quick stress-reducing techniques like deep breathing or tapping. This helped me stay grounded instead of spiraling into anxiety. I created a calming evening routine and prioritized rest days to lower cortisol and support hormone balance. Once I started regulating my nervous system, I stopped feeling anxious and wired all the time. My sleep improved, my cravings leveled out, and my body finally began letting go of stress fat. I wasn't in survival mode anymore, and my metabolism kicked back into gear. I want to know, have you ever felt like no matter what you do, your body just won't respond to diet and exercise? Drop a comment below and let me know which steps resonates with you the most. Now I want you to imagine waking up energized and in control of your body again. No more exhaustion, no more cravings, or stubborn weight that won't budge. When you align with your body's natural rhythms, your metabolism becomes an asset instead of an obstacle. If you're tired of feeling burnout and stuck in survival mode, I've put together a simple, actionable guide to help you start using the C.A.R.E method today. Download from Exhausted to Energize, the High Achieving Woman's step-by-step guide to restoring energy and balance in the description below. Inside, you'll learn how to reset your cortisol levels, fuel your metabolism, and finally lose stress fat in a way that works for your body. This is the final video in this series, so if you've missed the earlier ones, make sure to catch up. I cover everything from how stress affects your metabolism to why stress fat won't go away and how to fix it. Click on the video on the end screen to watch the previous video, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next series.